All right, yo, 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 it's your boy Yoshikidneo, and we are back in the world of Borovia, playing the Curse of Strahd. We've got three of the four players here, so it should be okay. They just got finished playing through the Death House introductory part of the session, or of the module rather, and they completed it with flying colors. And today they'll be visiting the village of Borovia for the first time and seeing a lot of like what this world that they're in actually is. So, should be a lot of fun. All right, so to recap on what happened the last time, especially because two of the players that were playing in that were not here, so this will be beneficial for Zach and Swath. You guys started out down in the basement of the house that you guys were starting to adventure through. Essentially, what you saw and what you heard down there was it was sort of like it almost felt like a very ancient crypt. Hadn't been touched in centuries, probably more. There were footprints, but they were extremely old. Your pal Snoopy, who instead of Mason Jorn, the Luxodon, Joe changed his character to Snoopy, who is an awakened canine. So essentially, he's an actual dog that can talk. So you guys have a faithful, loyal, good boy on your team now. He was able to smell that these tracks were very old, and this place itself was very old. He also, well, I think I had Boris get replaced by my buddy's character just for this. So essentially, Boris was Zuka in this whole encounter. But you guys explored. You found a crypt that had the name of the family that used to live in that house, which is where you guys buried the dead. The dead bodies of the two children, Rose and Thorn. The burial of these bodies gave your characters inspiration. The way I work, or the way I use inspiration, is essentially if you make a roll, and it can be anything that's a d20 roll, and you don't like the outcome or what you see on the dice, before I tell you what happens, you can tell me that you want to use your inspiration, and you can re-roll it one time and take whichever result you want. So, for instance, let's say, wow, there's a lot of rolling that's been happening. Let's just say, for instance, I have you roll something and you rolled an 8, and you're like, fuck, I don't want an 8. I want to re-roll it and use my inspiration. You re-roll it, hey, I got a 19, I want that one, and you use your inspiration. So it's a handy thing. Usually it can get awarded to you with really good role playing, or if you guys do something that's really out of the box and I think needs to be rewarded to try to make you guys as players do it more often. So try some cool shit and you might get inspiration. Going back to the story, after getting this feeling that you guys did something really good, especially for these two children who had met a terrible fate, you guys explored and found kind of like what seemed to be a little den for what you picked up on to be cultist. So this house was used as a sort of front in a way, and there was some sort of cult that, from what Snoopy found on the letter, it's a cult that essentially worshipped Strahd, some entity that you've heard about but you've not met as of yet. You fought a bunch of creatures throughout this whole this whole basement area. But you guys made it out alive. At the very end of it, you guys got to a altar, and as you approached the altar, these black figures came out and started chanting, "Someone must die. He is ancient. He is the land." And Zuka took it upon himself to leave the room, in which case they got really angry and summoned a creature out of the rubbish that was put into a corner that is known as a shambling mound, and it lurched out and attacked you guys. But with some careful planning, mid-combat, you guys were able to get it onto the altar, and you were able to kill it, giving the sacrifice that these figures wanted. And essentially, everything went quiet after that. You did a little more exploring, and you found some cool items, but you haven't been able to identify them yet because it hasn't been long enough time to do a short rest or anything. But as you guys left the house to go and tell the children that you guys killed the monster, you guys noticed the children weren't there anymore, which makes sense after the things that you've seen. But what was really strange is you saw a bunch of swarms of bats coming around every which way from the fog, and they all sort of coalesced in one particular area in front of you. And that's where a human gentleman had appeared in front of you, and he greeted himself as Strahd, and he told you that he's happy that his new playthings were able to appease the Death House, and that he's looking forward to playing with you more in the future. He started to do a cackle, an evil cackle, and then he separated into like 1,000 little bats and flew away. And that's essentially where we bring our characters for the start of this session. You guys are outside of the house that you were ridding of the monster. As the fog starts to sort of fade away, where it at first seemed to encompass you and essentially hold you within this house until you had felled whatever evil was within there. Their tall shapes loom out of the dense fog as it starts to dissipate. The muddy ground under your foot gives way to slick, wet cobblestone. The tall shapes become recognizable as the houses that you had walked past, getting to this particular house. As you look, the windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness, as if no one's home. There's no sound that cuts the silence except for the mournful sobbings that echo throughout the streets from a distance. And what we'll do is we will go to this here map. I will put you guys, and you won't be, yeah, that actually should be fine. So I'm going to, I'll probably just play, actually, Joe, have you ever played a cleric before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, I'm going to give you control of Kevin's character. He has chosen most of his spells. Yeah, he's chosen all his spells. Yeah, so I'm going to give you control of his character. He is a survival domain. Essentially what he can do...
He's a druid cleric, right, basically?
Kinda, but not really. Like, he doesn't get... It's actually, instead of it being like, it's not nature... survival is actually all about keeping you guys alive.
Okay.
His channel divinity, he actually didn't put it on there, which I told him to, but I guess he didn't. God damn it, Kevin. This makes it harder for me. He is... Go to Xanathar's Guide to Everything Else. I think that's the one that it's in. I'm looking for it.
See if like a ton of buffs and
Kinda, yeah. He does get some extra... Like, his channel divinity gives you guys, I think, extra HP.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's Xanathar's Guide for Everything Else. That's the survival domain, so... If you end up needing to use it, he's got one channel divinity, I think, per day right now, until he hits another level. But yeah, as of now, you guys can hear somewhere in the distance, you guys hear a bunch of crying, but it's like it's kind of far from where you're at. But you do see that the fog has pretty much kind of dissipated to where you can actually see the trees and the open plains around you. Um, the houses are all kind of dark and gloomy, very gloomy as well. So, what do you guys do?
If I'm not mistaken, Frankie is probably not. He's not looking too good right now, is he?
Um,
I don't see that.
What's your HP right now?
21 out of
Oh.
21.
Wow, you died a lot last time, so I'm glad you're doing good.
It's good to hear.
Yeah. Do we hear the crying coming from, like, just into the town somewhere?
It's coming from the southwest.
Okay. You guys want to go check out the crying?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Brady, do you know the spell slots that Kevin had?
Yeah, he's got 2. So if you actually look at it,
oh, cool, he did write them down.
Yeah. He's used 2 of his first level ones. He hasn't used any second level because he just got them.
Okay.
So yeah, Kevin lied to me. He said he would have this done even if he wasn't playing. Frustrating, but okay. I'm used to it. So as you guys are walking through, like you look and some of the houses you can see columns of smoke coming out. But as you walk past them, you kind of look in the windows and it's just pitch black on the inside. You don't even see the remnants of a fire as you look through. Other houses look like they've been abandoned and probably for quite some time. There's like no one in the streets as you're walking around. Like almost, it feels almost as if this place is a ghost town in itself. But you know that there's someone here. You can hear them crying.
Let's go help her. Or him.
Yeah. So you keep going through, looking around, and you hear the crying still coming from around this direction. You do hear a little bit of hustle and bustle coming from this building, this larger building, as you start to get closer to it. But the crying comes from beyond further.
What am I smelling right now?
Roll me a perception check with advantage. You guys watch Snoopy as he plants his nose in the ground, starts taking big old whiffs. You smell quite a few things. You smell you can smell wine close by, probably because it's been spilt in this area. You can smell what's like fresh bread, some cheeses, a couple different styles of meat, maybe some brisket. But you also, there's something weird. There's like a sweet smell, but it's coming from a different direction. It's coming. So all those smells of the food that you're getting, they're coming from this building, but the smell of sweets comes from over here.
Noted. What about that smell of death that I recognized when we woke up? Is that still there?
I mean, there's always a little hint lingering, but as you start to smell around, you sniff Frankie, and like he's really dirty and smells like the rubbish that you guys had fought earlier, which is where you're getting that smell of death from. Boris is also notably stinky as well. And Ed is like kind of drenched in all this rubbish.
Okay.
So yes, you do smell the lingering death, but you know where it comes from. Your party.
Great. Let's go make some friends.
So do we want to go to this big building or continue onward?
Yeah, I think we should check out this big building.
All right. Is there a window I can look into?
Not from this location, but if you walk towards, like as you walk towards the side, you start to see windows on this side. And as you look in, there's a hearth that has a nice fire going on about it. You see three people, all of them women, sitting in front of the fire. It looks like they're kind of chatting to each other while they're sipping on wine. You see a gentleman that's tending the bar that's constantly just cleaning glasses, putting it down, picks up another, cleans another. And then you see another gentleman in the corner that's drinking alone.
Well, shall we go inside and say hi?
Yeah, let's knock. Brady, at this point, I want to dismiss my mage hand.
Okay.
So it just look like a little dog
Okay. So
with an eye patch on.
yeah. So you guys round the corner to the front door. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
So
just
you
looking
get
to go
to the-
inside. So
Well, you get to the front door. You go ahead and open it up, and as you do, the barkeeper looks up. He's got this really like gloomy looking face. He's a pudgy little looking man, and he just looks at you for a moment and goes back to watching the glasses that he's cleaning. The three women, they all kind of, as they're kind of slunched over at the fire, they all kind of look over in your direction. They look you up and down, and then they proceed to go back to their conversation, muffling their whispers. As you guys walk in, you do see at the front door the sign that says Blood of the Vine Tavern. So you do know that this is probably a spot where you guys can rent some rooms and get some drinks and food. Let me show you all the characters that are kind of in there. So these are kind of what the women look like. You do notice that they wear kind of like a lot of jewelry. Think of like Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, how she kind of like dressed and stuff like that. They're gypsy-like in their apparel. The gentleman that's drinking alone, as you guys walk in, he glances over towards you all, and he takes a big old swig of his wine and kind of puts it on the table and says, "Do you all want to drink with me? It's all on me. Please, please, come and have a seat. It's not often we get strangers here in the village of Borovia."
I'm gonna go up to him and like act like interested, like a dog, and wag my tail. Basically, say hi in the good old dog way.
He stands up from his seat and kind of bends down and lets you sniff his palm and stuff. And as you start licking him and stuff, he's like, "Wow, what a great pet! It's so full of joy and happiness. I've not seen that in some time." He looks to the barkeep. Eric, or Arik, rounds on me, please, for everyone. And bring us some food platters, please. Arik looks over at him. He puts down the glass that he's probably cleaned like 3 times since you've seen him. And he goes to work getting you guys glasses of wine and some food to eat. And a bowl of water for the cute puppy. as he starts to pet you on the head. Let me actually see. He gets your tickle spot, and your leg starts going wild.
Oh, he's my buddy. When he stops, I'm gonna just sit next to him, kind of curl up, and hang out with him like he's my buddy.
Okay, cool. So, I would assume that unless you guys say otherwise, you guys have a seat with him.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
And within the next minute or two, you'll end up getting your wine and your bread and cheese. But the gentleman... sorry, it's awfully rude of me. The name is Ismark. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. What are your names? As he points around the table.
My name is Frankie.
I'm Boris. No
My
twin.
bad.
And Boris is silent. Does this one
I'm
not
Boris,
like
no
talking?
twin.
Oh, he does speak. Well, I would ask what brings you to this lovely town, but Nora, one, it's not lovely, and two, I haven't seen people that are outsiders in years. How did you come to this place? Anyone may answer.
We were
This
out
is the part,
adventuring.
yeah, this is the part where you as players have to give me something, otherwise we can't continue.
We were
I'm trying to be a dog, alright?
We were out adventuring, and we stumbled upon... Well, we made camp one night, and were enveloped in this thick fog. And when we awoke the next morning, we found some massive gates in front of us. And from there, we seemed to be stuck in whatever world or plane this is.
That's quite alarming, honestly. It's been quite some time since the devil has brought in new playthings. I would like to be the first, if probably the only, to tell you that I am sincerely apologetic about your situation.
Now this devil you speak of, is that Strahd?
Yes, he's...
This is Ed talking.
yeah.
I'm gonna try. Ed has a Russian accent.
Yeah. Russian accent. Only for this time, though.
Yes. I'm duh.
Yes, he's the... he's the curse of this land, honestly.
Are you saying the curse of Strahd?
But boom.
That's
Go ahead and
insane.
Ed takes 7 psychic damage. I'm joking. For metagaming. Kidding. But yeah, that's a good one. Yes, he's essentially something happened earlier, I guess, within the time of Borovia. Something our ancestors must have done to upset the gods, and this is how they will torment us and our people for forever. So,
Does anybody stood in his way?
oh, countless. Actually, it seems every few years he brings in folks from the outside just to see how strong others are, and so far, hundreds, if not thousands, have tried, and all of them have failed. Why, just the other
This is
day...
bad news.
Yes, it's quite awful. Unfortunately, I feel like your fates are... You're destined to fight him. And if you're just like the others, well, he kinda gets gloomy and takes a big old chug of wine. But This is a glorious occasion. This is a chance. I'll be honest. I've been waiting for someone to be able to help me out, and I feel like this is a good sign that you're all here. You see, it's my sister, Irene. She's not safe here. I need to take her somewhere else. I need to protect her. Strahd, he's after her for some reason, and I can't tell why. But I feel if she stays in this village with him so close, it's only a matter of time before I lose her forever. Would you all be willing to help me?
Well, I mean, if we're stuck here, might as well.
We have no choice.
Perfect. Another round, please. Arik.
They don't call us the peacekeepers for nothing.
Peacekeepers? What are those?
That is us. Me,
I get that.
Frankie,
But what do
Snoopy,
you... How
and
did you
Boris.
come to acquire such a title?
That's hard for me to explain because I don't actually know.
Yeah. I know you don't. Essentially a
You want I should
peacekeeper...
make up story.
Nah, a peacekeeper is a member of the Peacekeepers Guild. Your whole objective is to take on contracts to essentially bring peace around the lands of Borodil, which is the world that you all know. That's where you're from.
So basically, we take jobs to make better place.
Wow, perfect. We can treat this as a job, and you could be peacekeepers or whatever the hell.
That sounds good.
Arik comes by with the second round, and he, Ismark grabs his new glass in a toast to the peacekeepers.
To the peacekeepers.
Go ahead and toast
guys,
them.
okay, you guys clink your glasses and chug your wine. Snoopy kind of gets on the table a little bit and is like, "Arp, arp."
I slurp, slurp, slurp from my water bowl.
Well, unless you guys want to relax more, which I'm totally down for, we should stop by my father's place. And as he says his father's place, his eyes kind of get a little watery. So you can meet my sister and, well, we can get acquainted so that you may help us. We want to leave as soon as possible, but we do have a few things we need to finish up.
Eric, do you know anything about building at northwest of town?
Northwest?
Yeah, the spooky building we just beat.
The northeast.
Northeast, sorry, not northwest. The northeast
Ah.
building.
Yes,
Specifically, anything about cultist.
well, I'll be honest. It's titled Death House, and rightfully so. It was always, as children, it was always a game to see who could go the deepest within Death House without dying. Anyone that went to the basement never came back. But only
Until
few ever
us.
found the basement. Which is why it's a sign that you were all meant to help me. If you're claiming to have come from the basement of that house and survived, yes. As for cultist, I cannot say. I've honestly only been to the front door and never turned back.
Thank you for information. Do you know who is crying outside?
It's Mad Mary. She always cries.
Should we go say hi. Or should we leave her be?
If you feel the necessary, go for it. From what I've gathered, is she's lost her daughter, which more than likely she ran away on her own accord. She did keep her locked up and sheltered from the world, as Mad Mary is too frightful, honestly probably a little insane. But she weeps for her child.
Could you join us?
To
Could you
visit
join us
Mad
and show
Mary.
us around town?
Sure, I could do that. As long as, well, it's best discussed back at my father's estate. But I do, before we can head out to... Sorry, I'm trying to finish my dinner. I did not get a chance to eat it all. Before we head out to take my sister where I need her to go, which happens to be... Where the hell did I put it? I put the name somewhere. Fuck me.
That doesn't seem very immersive.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I can't find it. It's like supposed to be right here.
Anyway.
Yes, anyway, I'll talk to you about it later, but for now, I guess let us go. And he stands up from the table and starts walking out the door. So as you walk out, he gets to the town square, and he points in a couple different directions. He's like, well, obviously you've seen the Blood of the Vine Tavern, as that is where we've met. If you look this way, and he points towards the northwest, that is the old chapel that, honestly, I don't believe anyone really goes there anymore, as everyone's lost faith in the gods. They don't really help us out too much anymore. Over across the street, and he points here, that's Bildrath's Mercantile. Probably the most expensive goods you'll ever see, but if you ever need to buy any arrows or bolts, or perhaps a new weapon, that'd be the place to go. Watch out for his nephew. He may be stupid, but he's quite good in a fight. I would not make any trouble. This way, and he points down this way, is where my father's estate is. On the way there is Mad Mary's house, if you really wanted to go and see. And of course, Death House is up that way. As you guys are kind of looking around, you do see, sort of this way, along the houses you see a cart. Currently it's parked outside of this house. And there is a what seems to be a hunched over woman in rags knocking on the door. As Snoopy takes a gander, this is the sweets that you smelt earlier.
Yeah, Snoopy's gonna take off running down the street.
Oh no! No! Dog!
Snoopy, heal.
I kind of stop, look back.
Oh.
Whoa. I got big. So I hear him, I turn around, I look back, tilt my head. Huh?
Heal.
I'm gonna keep walking over towards the lady.
I'm gonna ask him who that lady is.
She's no one good. That's for sure. I don't know if she's as cruel to creatures as she is to other humans, but if she is, that's not a good place for your puppy to be.
What does she do?
She goes around selling what they call dream pastries. Essentially, it's the only joy that many of the village can get.
Snoopy, come back. Snoopy. Goddamn dog.
I'll approach the lady.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, you get near the cart, and this woman is currently knocking on the door, and you can hear her voice.
Come on out! Dream pastries for sale.
Is that you?
He's got
Yeah.
voice changers.
Okay.
No, that was my real voice.
What's your
Damn
voice?
it, Swafford.
Come
Oh,
on
God.
out!
Does she notice me yet? I'd like
how
to
close
kind of
do you get?
sneak. I kind of want to sneak up and
Okay.
Steal the cart.
maybe check out her cart before she notices that I'm there.
Alright, go ahead and roll stealth. Okay, so yeah, you're able to sort of get up close to her cart, and there's like a blanket that's over the top of it, but on the back side of it, you can see in the cart itself as you kind of perch up and look in there, and you see what looks to be like little tarts, like with it almost cream-filled tarts, just sitting there. They look delicious.
I'm totally grabbing one.
Okay, so you grab it with your mouth.
I'm gonna strut back, all proud with it in my mouth, towards my group.
Hey! Bring back my pastry! You dirty
I
little mutt!
I take off. Just sprinting. And when I get her, I'm gonna go around this corner. And when I do, I'm gonna blink.
Well, let's see. Gotta find a thing. There it is.
Good luck catching a dog. Old lady.
What a nice guy.
Yes, very nice guy. So yeah, as you're running, but before you're able to get around that corner, all of a sudden, like you feel in the back, you feel in your back, and the party, you see this woman start to chant, and she puts her fingers out and forward, and what is it? Yeah, 4 little bolts all shoot out of her fingers, all of them sort of twisting through the air, this arcane energy, as it all pelts Snoopy in the back. You take 14 force damage.
Ooh, I'm passed out.
So you guys watch Snoopy as he's running with this pastry in his mouth, and these bolts hit him in the back, and he just and then falls forward, dream pastry out of his mouth. You guys know that this is what Snoopy looks like when he falls unconscious.
Ed is gonna run towards Snoopy.
You
I don't know.
dirty little...
I'm coming with him.
This woman...
This woman walks forward and grabs her pastry and spits on the dog,
Dirty rotten mutt! You!
and she points towards Ed.
If he ever does that again, or if you get any ideas, it'll get way worse. Be gone!
I am
And she
sorry
walks
for
back to
my
the
puppy
house.
friend. He just is hungry. We have been on a long journey, and puppy does not know how to spend money. I will
But
pay
you're
for
his owner. Feed him, or I'll feed you to him.
I will pay for pastry.
Oh, 1 gold.
1 gold. Okay, I shall. You want I should give you 1 gold? I'll deal.
So as Ed pulls a gold out of his pocket, he can't help but notice that the very face of the gold coin has changed, and it looks like the gentleman that you guys spoke with about 20-30 minutes earlier, his head and profile.
So here's the thing. I went on his character sheet. He has 0 gold.
He should have
He
some
should
starting
have
gold.
some.
Yeah.
How much should I give him?
I think it'd be like, just give him 20.
Okay. So now he has 19.
Yes.
Hey guys, I think we should fuck up this old lady.
I'm not going to stop. I'm gonna heal Snoopy with Ed because I'm the cleric, and this makes things really nice
Okay.
with cure wounds. So I believe that's a D8 plus his modifier.
Should be able to click the... Oh. So, on roll 20, if you click Cure Wounds and cast it at first level, it'll roll it for you.
Oh, there we go. So 8.
Yep,
the
8
puppy.
to Snoopy.
As Snoopy comes out of his daze, he looks at the lady and growls. Oh,
Arrgh! Begone, stupid
This-
mutt.
kind of stare her
She-
down.
She walks
Turn
away
around and
towards her
start
cart.
walking away.
Without the door having been answered, she starts to move her cart. And as she rounds the corner, she glares at you and spits in your direction and walks away.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take 1 little gold out of my little puppy pouch and drop it at Ed's feet.
Okay. Ed will pick it up. Why, thank you, puppy. But you really should be more cautionary.
Following Blue's Clues, bro.
There you go. I like it.
Okay, now on to Mad Mary. Puppy, you come with us now.
You damn dog.
Snoopy very obediently heals.
Yeah, that's a first.
So as you guys get over there, Ismark kind of has one head wiping the sweat from his forehead. That was honestly the most stressful thing, besides everything else about this place. He bends down. I know you can't understand me, puppy, but you have to be more careful in this world. Wherever you come from, I understand you can probably go up to any man of people, and they would give you all the love that you deserve, but this place is not that place.
I look at him with puppy dog eyes
Oh,
and go up
you
and
are the
nestle his.
cutest.
Yeah.
For real, though, as he starts to get up, all of you, this is no easy place to live in. In fact, I've almost come close to dying several times just from leaving the village itself. I would be quite careful if I were all of you.
All right, let's start heading towards the
Moaning
crying
Myrtle.
woman. Yes.
Okay. So you walk, and you know, as you get closer, the crying is coming from this house right here.
Like inside the house, or is it like around the corner?
It's inside. You guys get to the house and you hear it on the other side of the door. It's crying.
Well, let's knock on the door.
You can knock on the door. Careful
Alright,
not to break it down.
I'll knock on the door.
Oh, by the way, this is what that lady looked like.
Jesus. She has magical powers.
So you knock on the door and the crying stops. And then it starts to continue.
I'll knock on the door again.
And as you do, you hear someone coming up. You still hear the sobbing. And this woman approaches the door, and opens the door. You're not my daughter. And she closes the door.
Well, let's keep going.
Ismark approaches, knocks. Mary, these outsiders, they're here to help. And you hear her come back to the door. My daughter, Gertrude. She, and it seems that every time she tries to talk about her daughter, like her tears get more intensified, and you just see that it's like she's been crying for weeks. Like, this woman looks awful. Let me do a kind of zoom in for her.
She's hot.
Absolutely. Just adds type.
I don't know where she went, but she ran away. For some reason, I can't protect her. Please. And you see, now that she's opened the door a little bit, she's got this really weird looking doll in her hand. It's kind of malformed, and it looks like it's wearing like a sackcloth dress. But she clutches it almost as if she's unwilling to part with it ever.
Is there any information you can give us on where your daughter may have gone?
I wish I knew. I'd go for it myself, but I have no idea. She was safe here, and now she's gone. And she leaves the door open and goes back to the middle of the room, which, as you kind of peek in, this house almost looks as if it went up for auction and everyone bought everything in it, because there's nothing. And she goes and falls to her knees in the middle and starts clutching the doll and crying.
Snoopy is gonna go up to her and kind of nestle in, being all good boy like.
Okay.
Try to make her feel better.
You start to nuzzle, and she kind of turns away from you.
I'll do that thing where they go on their tummy and kind of like try to put the head between the hands.
She doesn't pay much attention as she tries to pull away, and just she buries her face in the doll and continues to weep. Ismark comes by Ed and goes, I honestly don't think your puppy's going to help. Unfortunately, she's been like this for weeks.
Should I try and steal her doll? Just kidding. Oh, that'd be... Okay, well, I'll turn around and go back up to my boy Eric. He gives me head scratches.
Ismark?
Yes, why'd I say Eric?
Yeah. That's the barkeep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes,
well,
Mark.
Mary, I'm sure they'll find Gertrude. I don't know when, and I don't know what condition, but I'm sure they will. He closes the door behind him and goes, this place gets worse and worse. I really, really do hope that you all are successful. And he starts to move forward towards the house. Let's see. So, as you guys get closer, you see a weary-looking mansion that squats behind a rusted iron fence. The iron gates are twisted and torn. The right gate lies cast aside, while the left swings lazily in the wind. The shuddering squeal and clang of the gate repeats with mindless precision. Weeds choke the grounds and press with menace upon the house itself. Yet, against the walls, the growth has been tampered down to create a path all about the domain. Heavy claw markings have stripped the once beautiful finish of the walls. Great black marks tell of the fires that have assailed the mansion. Not a pane nor a shard of glass stands in any window. All the windows are barred with planks, each one marked with stains of evil omens. Ismark pipes up, says, "It's been quite a rough couple of weeks indeed," as he walks through towards the front door. And as she gets, or as Ismark gets up there, he opens the door to let you guys in. And as you walk in, the interior of the mansion is well furnished. Yet the fixtures show great signs of wear. Noticeable oddities are the boarded up windows and the presence of a holy symbol in every room. The burgomaster is in a side drawing room on the floor, lying in a simple wooden coffin surrounded by wilting flowers and a faint odor of decay, which, Snoopy, you definitely smell as the doors open. You can smell that death and decay. It's a lot stronger. And as you guys walk in, Ismark looks to you and says, "Our father passed away out of stress within the last few weeks. The devil Strahd has been assailing the mansion days or every night for weeks, and it finally got to the best of him. The reason I need you all is because, for whatever reason, Strahd is after my sister." And as he says, "my sister," you guys see this woman. She's quite beautiful. She's got this auburn hair.
Damn.
Red rocket alert.
You're a dog, get off. That's my domain.
There you go. The Red Rocket domain. But yeah, so she's got this auburn hair and is a very, very striking young woman. Quite beautiful. Even Snoopy seems to kind of be a little excited to be in her presence. But anyway, Ismark walks forward and, "Irene, sister, a group has approached me in the tavern, and they've said that they'll help us with getting you out of this village into the town of Velaki." Irene is kind of standing over the coffin of her dead father, and she looks behind her to see you all, and goes, or actually, I'll use the.
Ah, well, welcome. I do wish it was better circumstances that had brought you. I am Irene. It is a pleasure.
And she does a little curtsy. Before we can leave, as Ismark comes up to you all, we could use your help, especially your strong ones, and he looks towards the barbarians. We would like to bury our father before we leave, but in all honesty, I'm afraid to let Irene even leave the house. especially if the devil Strahd were to appear again. I don't think I can defend her.
How have you kept Strahd away for so long?
We honestly haven't. Irene, and she she clutches her hair on the left side, like as it's draped over the left side of her neck. And she kind of winces as she moves her hair aside, and you can see two little holes, two little punctures on her neck. She's been bitten by him twice now. He used to appear every night when she would leave the house, in the middle of the night. And out of two of those occasions, this is what happens. Irene,
Who else has been bitten like this?
quite honestly, not many folks. He does visit the town, but as you can see, most of the town hides in fear and cowardice inside of their homes. But
Have
he
you
has...
been bitten?
I have not. So far, the only people I know within the town that have been bitten are my sister.
These symbols on the walls, do they help keep Strahd away?
For a time they did, but like I had told you, over the past few weeks he's sent nightly raids of wolves and creepy humanoid figures to assault our house. As you can see, and he points towards all the windows, we've barely been able to keep them out, and it was under the stress that took my father's life. It became too much, but oddly, afterwards, the attacks stopped. Almost as if he had had his fill of excitement, but he also hasn't come to see Irene for quite a few days, and hopefully it stays that way. Maybe he's done obsessing over her, but I fear that this is no coincidence. Well, will you help us bring our father to be buried at the church?
Yes.
I will help you.
Very
Snoopy
good.
will help too.
So they get over, and the gentleman that's inside, he's a fairly chubby man. So definitely the more hands, the better for this type of job, especially with the amount of. Let's see, you guys got roughly like 400 feet to move this coffin.
Alrighty.
So, yeah, with all of you doing it, putting a hand on the coffin and carrying it, no need for a strength roll, especially because you got two barbarians that, if they really wanted to, they could just rage. Don't
Get really mad.
Yeah.
Coffin.
I don't know. I'm looking at something real quick. For some
Could've
reason,
took the old lady's
Frankie...
car.
Oh, that's why. Perfect. Alright, we fixed it. Okay,
Hey.
so I think it takes you guys... It'll take you guys like 10 minutes to carry this coffin all the way to the church.
Okay.
But if you could, you guys get to right about here.
I didn't see.
Oh, right up here to this like little town square area. And as you get there, you see a gentleman wearing a dark cloak, and he's looking at the church. And as you guys get to where You're kind of looking at this man, and as everyone's kind of squinting to see who it is, Ismark sort of drops his load of the coffin and draws his sword. The devil.
Oh boy.
I'm also gonna drop Milo
Don't worry, boys, I got it.
and draw
You
my
honestly
axe.
probably do.
Snoopy does as well.
Okay,
Oh, I got it then. Don't worry.
Yeah, and Frankie's over here like two-handing this thing. He's just like, ah! And eventually,
I'll kill him
Ismark
with the
goes,
coffin.
let down the coffin, please.
All right. And I pull out my battle axe.
So, as you guys do, you guys hear, pitiful. All of you. Except for you. And he turns around and looks directly at Irene. You are the most stunning thing I've ever laid eyes on. And yet, you care for this old, rotted corpse? Soon you will know what true love is. Soon! And he holds his arms out. You will know my warm embrace. Irene, come to me. And you see sort of a light flash in Strahd's eyes as he sort of starts to float about 10 feet off of the ground. And Irene, she also drew a sword, but she drops it and starts walking forward. Yes, come, my love. From the sides of the houses, you see a couple of really big boys. Two of them, in fact. They're not 40 feet, by the way, so I'm going to make them a little smaller.
Are these direwolves?
They might be. Actually, does it show the nameplate to you guys?
No.
Okay, cool. But yeah, these two large wolves, they're probably about like they come up to almost Strahd's shoulders, and he's like a 6 foot something like Fabio looking motherfucker. He's honestly a stunning man. Look at that face. His hair flows in the wind. But he's got this wicked smile as Irene starts to walk slowly forward. Ismark jumps in front of her, dropping his sword in the process to hold her back. No! What are you doing? Come, my boy. She wants what she wants. And she will. I will get what I want, inevitably. But for now, and he, with both his hands, he sort of, he's got them open, palm up towards the air, and he makes, he points 2 fingers towards you guys, and the wolves start to move forward. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Here we go. Guess I get to go first. Whoop whoop.
Why? So when you click on your tokens, it should populate when you click the initiative button.
I just click the top near where you can select like what mouse cursor you want.
Yeah, that's what you should be clicking.
Is it?
Did Ed's go through?
Ed's went through. His is the 15. I put Boris on there. But you can re-roll it for me, Zach, and I'll update the number. Yours
Is it
16.
The easiest
So click
way to
on,
do it?
yeah, click on Boris, and then the top left, you'll see an initiative button. Not your character sheet, your token that's on the map.
Yeah, see, I don't have that.
Interesting.
What I'm seeing is, yeah.
It'll be like next to the cursor at the top. So you click on your dude. It'll literally say initiative by the cursor.
Yeah, my turn order popped up on it. Gotcha.
Dope.
Thanks.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
All right, so Frankie, you're first. These two wolves are about, I'm going to say, just because you guys should all, in theory, be right here, the wolves are within 30 feet of you.
So that's something that I can get to, right?
Yeah, you can get to them. I
I'm gonna
believe
go.
your movement speed is, yeah.
The dwarves is 25.
Oh, yeah, you're a
25, yeah.
dwarf. So you get, so they're 30 feet away from you. You move up 20 feet away, or 25 feet, and you've got a 5-foot gap in between you and them. I
So I
don't
can't
think
hit
you
him
have
yet.
any. Yeah, but you can do what's called a hold action. So essentially, what you do is you tell me, I hold my attack action for when they get within melee range to hit them, and essentially you kind of ready up. And if it triggers, then you attack them by using your action and your reaction at the same time in order to do it. And if it doesn't trigger, if you're able to do anything else, you can't take movement when you hold your action. But if another thing, like if for instance they didn't come up close to you and you were like, all right, well instead I'll throw my axe at them or something, you could do that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna ready up, and if they get near at all, my axe is going through their faces. So
Okay. All right, Snoopy.
Um, I am going to shoot my hand crossbow at the one on the left.
Okay.
Ooh, with the nice old critical fail there.
Yeah.
Sick.
So as you shoot, the string snaps, making your crossbow useless unless you spend an action to sort of tie it in a knot. You guys watch
Okay.
as, for some reason, this time of all times, Snoopy's hand crossbow has busted, and you're all like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!"
I'm gonna use my bonus action and movement to go hide between these buildings.
Okay.
Do you need me to do stealth?
Yeah. And so as he shoots and it snaps, pathetic. Okay. Ed.
Oh, that's me. Ed. What does he know?
He needs a couple things.
We'll cast the old Sacred Flame on the one on the left.
Okay.
I believe that's you. It's save for you, right?
Yeah. I just need
I
to
don't
know.
know his save. See. His
Pretty sure it's
save,
14.
13.
So let's see.
It's a dex save, and I'm trying to do it against a wolf. Yikes.
Yep. So the wolf rolled a 16, as you can see, because for some reason all of these sheets are not on Whisper. But that's fine. So yeah, you watch as this flame starts to surround the wolf, and it kind of just shakes its head and starts to snarl in that direction, and it kind of freaks Ed out to where he's like, "Ah, never mind."
That's
with
it.
that, does he want to move?
No, this is good.
Okay. The two wolves, they're 5 feet away from Frankie. One of them runs up right behind you. So you can go ahead and roll an attack against that one.
hell yeah.
That unfortunately misses.
Fuck. we're all worthless.
Yeah, we're doing great, guys.
Each wolf is going to try to bite the shit out of you.
So I like it.
Does a 35 hit? Also kidding, that doesn't. I just read a meme like that a little while ago, so.
That's funny. I think I read the same one. He rolled a 5. 30 mod.
Let's see. One of them will hit, the other one won't. So you take 6 piercing damage as one of them. So the one that you try to attack, you swing your axe and it actually jumps above it. And as it does, it bites your arm and you kind of yell out. And the other one goes in for a bite, but with you taking this hit from the other direwolf, you continue to swing trying to get this direwolf to let go. And it misses as it chomps just shy of grabbing you, but it ducks instead, trying not to get hit. With that, it is Boris's turn.
So I'm going to move up close and personal. Pretty close as it is, and swing.
All right, go ahead, and since you're flanking that wolf, you get advantage on the attack.
Yep. Gonna go with
Flanking with your boy Frankie. Hey, yo, Frankie.
Hell yeah.
Hey, yo, Frankie. You got the sausages. Hey, good thing you had advantage, because that wouldn't hit. Because it was a 9, but you hit with 10 slashing damage as you slice, and you see a bit of the fur. Like, you kind of embed your axe, because you use an axe, right?
yes.
Yeah, you embed your axe into like sort of where the back leg is a little bit. It's probably a couple inch deep wound as you pull it out, and some of the fur gets stuck. So now you've got like a nice little, it's almost like a little adornment to your axe. But you pull back and you kind of lick the blood, and you notice after a while you kind of wince, and you're like, that was a bad idea. But you want to try to look tough. Strahd looks at you. Pitiful, pitiful. Blood. It is the life force of us all. Frankie, your turn.
Alright, we're gonna boop this one that is, we got surrounded right now.
Alright, roll with advantage. Alright, that'll hit for 11. So you come down with a swing, and as you do, you match the wound on the other side of the wolf. So now it's got like 2 big old gashes and it's starting to bleed. And you pull out your axe, but no fur accompanies it. But the wolf lets out a little yelp. That's awful, but you know, I'm not a dog.
Horrible.
I'm not a dog, so whatever. Do you move or anything, or?
I'm gonna get so I'm not flanked.
Okay.
Um,
You should. So, hypothetically, you can move 5 feet to the left or the right, and that'll get you out of flanking position, but you're still in their threat range. If you don't want to take an attack of opportunity. Otherwise, if you don't give a shit.
If I just move like right there, does that work? Or
So for this battle, we're kind of doing a little bit of a mix and match of theater of mind and grid, because the grid, each square is 40 feet. So I'm not going to have you guys move 1 square at a time. So how many feet do you move to the right?
I just want to move 5 feet so I can get out of the range, so I'm not at least surrounded.
All right, yeah, that's doable. So
I still want to be like within range to hit both of them.
Yeah, and you are.
Sounds good. Sweet.
All right, Snoopy. You guys watched Snoopy run around the corner really fast after his bowstring had snapped.
Scared little bit.
So, how far am I from the direwolf now?
I'll say you're about 60 feet away.
60 feet? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I will use my dash action to get 60 feet up and stab him with my rapier.
Okay. And yeah, with that one, you would be able to get into an advantageous position, so go ahead and roll it with advantage. I just noticed that for some reason, Ismark and Irene didn't get populated onto my thing, and I'm not happy about that. They'll take their first action after Snoopy. I'll say their first action was Ismark trying to get Irene to not move closer to the dude named Strahd. So yeah, you'll hit for 9 plus 5. So 14 total. And this puppy's just barely hanging on. But yeah, you stab it real good as you guys watch Snoopy all of a sudden like teeth bared and this rapier floating behind him, and he's like "Arr!" and he runs up and he sort of like he gives out a little bark as he kind of bails at the last moment to bite, and then Steb goes in with his rapier and stabs, and you watch about half of the what up, dude? You watch about half of the rapier go through the belly of this direwolf and then come out, and this this crimson blood is just starting to drip off of it, and the direwolf does let off a kind of howl in pain as it's just barely hanging on. All the while Strahd is witnessing all of this, stroking his chin. At the end of Snoopy's turn, Ismark is going to go ahead and make an attack against the injured, almost dead. What's it called? He can make 2 longsword attacks. So he will do that. 1.
We got this
2.
level 5 guy over here.
I wish that this were all whispered. Now I know that literally all of them are not whispered. But now I know. So that first one is enough to hit and kill the beast as he stabs it. And as he sort of like, he stabs the beast right in the throat area, and you can hear it gargling as it's trying to take in its last breath, but it's getting muffled with blood. And as he draws the blade, he goes in to attack the other one, but some of the blood splatters in his eye, and he misses horribly as he kind of starts to wipe his face, and he sort of stumbles back a little bit. He stumbles enough to where the direwolf will take an attack of opportunity as he falls out of his threat range, which he hit. Actually, what armor is this guy wearing? He's wearing splint mail. You notice the direwolf go in and chomp like right on the heaviest portion of the splint mail, and it chips a tooth. I don't know how two of my NPCs roll natural 1s in a row. This is good for you guys, though. Yeah, it's awesome for you guys. With that, though, it is the direwolf's actual turn, and he's going to go up to. Seeing how hard it is to bite through this man wearing armor, it's going to run up towards Frankie.
Hell yeah. Bring it on, bitch.
And you hear a voice, "Hey, yo, Frankie, how you doing?" As he tries to bite the shit out of you, but misses. The wolf doesn't say anything. But the wolf goes in to try to bite you, and you're able to put your you use a great axe too, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, question mark?
Yes,
or
I did.
Yeah,
great
like
axe.
for sure. Okay. So as he goes in for a bite, you put the shaft of the weapon in its mouth to where he can't close his jaw all the way, and you're currently kind of fighting him off, but you're able to push him off as he snarls at you. Irene moves about 20 feet closer to Strahd. At this point, she's about 20 feet away from him. Yes. A little closer, my dear, and I will take you home. Boris, your turn.
I'm going to swing at the dire wolf still in front of me.
Okay.
I'm gonna use...
Yeah, the one dire wolf over by Frankie is about 10 feet away, but you've got plenty of movement to get over to him.
Okay.
$18 will hit. And you plunge your axe, and you're able to like, kind of like get a nice little chunk. You watch as some of the like, the skin falls off and flies in the wind with it, and the direwolf gives off a noticeable yelp. Anything else
Did
you
we-
want to do?
Did we skip
Hmm?
Ed?
Yeah, you definitely skipped Ed.
Oh yeah, we did. What is Ed gonna do?
Ed is gonna heal Snoopy
Okay.
because he notices after the troll lady that, man, Snoopy is not looking good still. Wow,
All right.
5.
Go ahead and add 5. And with that, if Ed wants to move, he can. Otherwise, it's Frankie's turn.
I want Ed to get in front of
Irene.
Irene. Does he have enough movement to get to Snoopy and there?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
we're gonna come down on this boy again. Fuck.
You just, okay. Yeah, that unfortunately misses.
Yep. Well,
Do you do anything else, movement or
All right.
anything? All
well,
right.
we're gonna. Can I grab what's her name and like pull her further back away from this dude, or is that too much for one turn?
Yeah, since you used your action already to attack, you can like you can't like grab her or anything, but you can hold your arm out and like put it on her shoulder.
I'll just stay where I'm at.
Okay.
Like Ed's got it under control.
So that brings us to Ismark, who is going to, let's see, where the hell is this guy? There's so many.
He should be right next to me.
There he is. So he's going to get on the other side of the direwolf so that he's flanking to get that nice advantage. And he's going to double swing, and he's going to hit once.
God damn it, man.
But he does a considerable chunk of damage. You guys see that the wolf is looking about half defeated. With that, it is Snoopy's turn.
Snoopy is gonna blink into Frankie's space because I think it's called Nimble. And I can occupy the space of somebody, so
Yeah,
I
'cause
can flank
you chose
him.
the small one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to
And
think
then
he's just standing on my shoulders.
I'm like between your legs more. And then I'll attack him with the rapier.
Okay. Wow, that
And we got
really
advantage on that,
works.
right? Because he's flanked.
Yeah.
Yep. So 18, so that's 8 plus 6. Solid damage.
Oh man, my sneak attack's only doing 1d6. I'm gonna need to do that.
Is
should
it
be
2d6 now?
It is. I
Okay.
need to change that.
Yeah. If you go to... Actually, I can do it real quick for you. It's super easy. But yeah, this wolf is like on its last leg. It's not doing too good at all. Let me go to that and make that 2d6. All right, your sneak attack is updated.
Sweet.
Go ahead and roll it real quick just to verify for me.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was like, I just did 2 of them. Yep.
Perfect. All right.
Let's take
With
that
that
one
is
instead.
no. It's Ed's turn.
Oh, Ed's turn. He's gonna try and
Yes.
like grab Irene and like grapple her to the ground. What's his strength?
Yeet her ass out of here.
He's overcome
yeah,
with her
it'll-
beauty.
Who, Ed?
Yeah. So he's gonna try and tackle her to the ground.
All right, yeah. So roll his strength versus her strength or dex, whichever is higher. You don't know, but I do. And whoever wins that contest, which, ow, she actually rolled way better than he did. Plus he's
Way
only
better.
+1. Yeah. Well, 3 better. She rolled a 19.
Oh, okay. Not much
But
I can do about
he
that.
grabs her and tries to hold her back, but she actually is able to kind of like almost as if it was made to be. As he goes in to grab her, she just kind of floats to the side melodically as she continues to approach Strahd. Yes. These fools try to keep you from me. The Direwolf is looking noticeably bad. It looks around, seeing no escape, but is going to take the disengage action and start running away. And as it does, Strahd looks over to it, and he points a finger at it, and you hear it bark and fall dead on the ground. Pitiful. I do not tolerate cowardice. Not in my army. It would seem that you all did quite well for yourselves. Irene, we will be reunited very soon. Don't worry. I will return. With that, he sort of, just like this earlier in the day when you saw him, he sort of disintegrates into a bunch of bats and flies away to where he's no longer around. Ismark, he looks around just to make sure he's really gone, and then he finally runs up to Irene and starts shaking her. And you look, she's got this dazed look on her face, like her eyes are almost like completely rolled into the back of her head, and her mouth is just like wide open with a little bit of drool coming out. And as he shakes her, Irene, wake up! She kind of like comes to and is like, and she grabs her head and she's like, my head is pounding. What happens? We're not at the church yet. Why? Why is everything a blur? My silence is for me to let you guys talk instead of me talk. Don't be shy.
Well, we just got to meet, what's his name, Strahd? Again?
Strahd the dad?
Yeah,
It's
big
it's
beefy boy.
Strahd.
Strahd. We have to meet Strahd again, and he decided he wanted to have some fun with you. So we had to make that not happen.
See, Irene, I told you, they're quite capable. This only proves my suspicions that we can finally get you out of this place. Well, once we've dealt with Father. He goes up to each of you and kind of like shakes your hand and goes up to Snoopy and scratches his head. I can't
I say
that
thank you for the scratches.
What? One of you, Ed, he looks to Ed. First of all, your voice changed, but you're able to speak at the same time that your dog mouths words. That's quite remarkable. What a good trick. I thought earlier that he was just, a dumb dog that
No,
was going
silly,
after
it's
food.
me.
And he notices as he's talking to Ed, his lips did not move. And he looks back. Oh, do it again.
Well, hello there. Sorry I deceived you, but I didn't know who to trust.
This
first.
day just got better! And he he kind of does like a half squat, and he's like got his arms open, and he's like shouting in the sky. Well, it'll be better soon. just dealt with Strahd. You're the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Tail wagging uncontrollably.
Yes, that's beautiful. Quite a remarkable pet you all have indeed. But is he actually a pet? Is someone trapped inside of... I have many questions. We've got a long journey ahead of us. I'm sure we can answer them then. For now, if you don't mind, and he goes back over to the coffin and starts to pick it up.
Yeah, we better get this thing inside the church.
Yeah,
Don't need Ed's help though, because kind of a bitch back there getting manhandled by a girl.
He did get fucked.
What a weakling.
That was pretty
Alright.
funny.
So we pick back
Okay.
up the coffin.
I had no idea how he was going to react to me not being a real dog.
Okay, so as you guys approach the church, is there a second? I need to see if there's a second Village of Borovia one, because the crying. You do still hear the crying in the distance from Mad Mary, but at this point we don't need to hear it all the time. This should be fine. You might have to turn up Mr. DJ for this one. Perfect. Crows. I like that a lot. That's actually really relaxing. Alright, so you guys get to the church, and you guys watch Ismark. He walks up and knocks on the door. Donovich! Donovich! And he opens up the door, and you see this gentleman come up. He's a fairly portly man. He's got this really big ass nose. His hairline is all swept back, gray hair, and he looks as if he hasn't slept in weeks. Like, it's been a long time since he's actually been able to get some restful sleep. Oh dear. You do not hear wolves.
Very relaxing, right?
It was supposed to be. Hold on, let me just clear this. Yeah, there are no wolves. I've got a different track I'll probably use. We can use this one. Maybe this one's better. Nope, that is worse. Regardless, he approaches. How can I help you all? And Ismark goes, we've come with my father's remains. If you wouldn't mind letting us bury him in the cemetery while you do your priesthood things. Very well. Please come on in towards the back, or I'll meet you around back. I do not like bringing corpses into the church. Ismark goes to grab the coffin.
I join him.
Me as well.
Okay. Yeah, I would figure, unless you say otherwise, I would assume that you guys help out at least a little bit.
We don't need Ed's help though, because he might fall over.
Is Ed looking bad? He's got...
No, he's just super weak.
Oh, yeah, because he couldn't even grab old girl. He was having a little bit of trouble there. I don't know how loud this one's gonna be. Not that loud. Might need to turn it up a bit.
Hey, Brady.
Owls are appropriate. What's up?
Do our characters, or at least mine, or Ed's, understand that these are vampires we're dealing with, or is this something that we're not familiar with in this land?
Both of you roll. Actually, all of you roll religion.
I think I can figure it out.
Why are both the barbarians with the +1 getting 20s?
Everybody has a +1, I think.
Wow. All right. Bunch of non-religious. I'm joking. Yeah. So after seeing the bite holes, after hearing the things that some of these folks have said, you're starting to put all of it together. Strahd is in fact a vampire, and a very powerful one, as you've seen. He seems to control not only those dire wolves that attacked you, but he seems to also control that mist, the eerie, heavy mist that essentially brought you to this place in the first place. Whatever's going on, he is more than likely the cause of it, and you're starting to think that he's also the solution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is the church safe from Strahd?
Ismark kind of looks over to you. Essentially, from what we know, Strahd himself is not able to enter, but I don't think it's because it's a holy place. Unfortunately, I don't think the church has had a proper service in quite some time, decades maybe. But he's not. There are certain limitations that I've heard of, and most notably is that of not being able to enter a residence without permission from the owner. Which is why Irene has been safe in our household up until recently, where he decided that ripping down the whole place with his wolves and his creepy humanoids would eventually flush us out. And indeed, he essentially has won. But with you all by my side and by Irene's side, we'll definitely make it to the next town in order to find her proper safety. And
Do vampires work the same, or does Snoopy know if vampires work the same? Like, is Irene a vampire because she got bitten?
so you know, like you guys can tell based on how Irene is carrying herself that she's not a vampire, not yet, but she's close. You would also know that from Ismark would probably he did tell you guys that she's been bitten twice, and that he seeks her out still, but she hasn't turned, so he fears that the next time would probably be what pushes her over the edge.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. So as you guys round the corner to the cemetery, you see a fence wrought iron with a rusty gate, enclosing a rectangular plot of land behind the dilapidated church. Tightly packed gravestones shrouded by a thin fog bear the names of souls long past. All seems quiet. So this is probably the most peaceful area that you've been to so far since coming to this location. But it's still kind of eerie, just the fact that there's all of these, graves and such. Eventually, Donovich meets you guys round back, and he comes out with a holy symbol and some holy water. If you're all ready, I have a plot over here ready for him. and he starts to move this way. And Ismark kind of tilts his head towards him, and you guys start to shamble with the coffin. Let's see. As he gets to the empty plot that's right around over here, you see that there's quite a bit of shovels in a half dug up location, and he looks to Ismark and says, "I have not been able to sleep. I've been too weak to complete it. With all of your help, it should only take a few moments."
Well, let's get it done.
You best believe Snoopy's coming over there and doing the doggy dig.
Okay.
Sending dirt everywhere.
So you guys start to dig, and it only takes the squad probably 5-10 minutes, somewhere around that time frame, to finish digging the grave. And you guys start to help load the coffin into the grave. And as you do it, Donovich starts to sprinkle holy water onto the coffin, and he starts to give prayers. You hear him mention a couple times the name Morning Lord. Please take this man in deliverance from Borovia. Let his soul find peace, blah, blah, blah. Some very priestly things.
What did you say,
Afterwards,
morning lore?
Morning Lord.
Does Ed know anything about...
Have Ed roll religion.
Nope.
Yeah, he's not heard. His god, he hasn't actually picked out who his god is, but it's definitely not the Morning Lord. And with him pondering who that is, and none of you being proficient in religion, none of you would know who it is for sure. So, you guys finish burying the burgomaster, and afterwards, Donovich wipes sweat from his brow. Ismark, I'm sure you already know this, but I think you definitely need to take Irene as far away from Castle Ravenloft as you can. If possible, might I suggest you take her to the Abbey of Saint Markovia. It's located in Kresik. And if for some reason that doesn't work, you could take her to Valaki. They're quite fortified over there. And Ismark looks to you guys and goes, I've dealt with Strahd my whole life. Maybe you all have an opinion. Do you think a large town that's heavily guarded would be able to keep Strahd away from my dear sister, or perhaps a holy place?
This isn't really my expertise, or do any of you guys know?
No. I'd think the holy place.
I think neither.
Excuse me, you think neither?
I don't think anywhere you take her, she's going to be safe. But we can try. I think more people, the better.
Okay. So that's one for the holy place, one for the village. What did Frankie say?
I'd say probably a holy place could fend off evil.
Snoopy says holy place.
Okay. So with the party, 3 versus 1, Ismark goes, well, Donovich, I think we'll try to head to the Abbey. Haven't been there in quite some time, so hopefully it's a safe journey, but I guess we shall see. Donovich nods his head, and if the Morning Lord is truly with us, then you will find safe passage. But always keep an eye out. You never know what's lurking around the corner.
Morning Lord,
Ah.
who is?
Morning Lord is one of the deities that watches over us, or at least used to. He has been absent as of late.
Thank you. I will study.
Yes, very good. Donovich gives Ismark a handshake, and he bows his head to all of you, and I wish you safe travels, and if you ever need anything that I may be able to help, let me know. Snoopy, so I can move him, and he starts to walk, and as he gets close to the door, he opens it, and you guys can hear a muffled scream coming from inside the church. And Donovich kind of like freezes for a second, looks behind him, and then closes the door really fast.
Stupid mute. That sounds like Gertz. Don't all speak up at once.
You said there was a muffled scream inside the church? You closed the
Correct.
door behind him? But his sister was out. Go ahead.
Oh, Soupy says we need to go check that out. I turn my head to Ishmark. Do you know about that?
No. Honestly, it's quite unsettling. Especially the way he acted once it happened. And I know time is of the essence, but you're all doing me a favor, so if you wish to investigate, Irene and I could go and pack our things before heading off if you needed to do so, and we could meet you back at our mansion.
It sounds good to me. I want to go check this out.
Mothcon too.
Okay, so they
I'll
head
stay
back
at-
towards the front.
I was
and
going to
then,
stay with those two.
Okay. So Boris tells you guys that he'll meet you guys at the mansion as well. And you guys go back towards the church. And how do you approach?
What does the back of the building look like? There's a door.
Yeah. So
What
I
else?
actually I misread the map. That's a window that he just crawled through. So Donovich would have actually walked towards the front and gone through the front door instead of a window. So I saw it incorrectly.
So did we see the whole scream and thing, or?
Yeah, you would have still heard it because some of the windows are shattered. And you would have,
Okay.
as he got closer to the gate, like you would have heard the scream, muffled scream. He would have looked back, and then he would have opened and closed the gate and started walking very quickly towards the front door.
Cool. I'd say let's go up to the window and try to look in. How tall are they?
Actually, let me do a thing real quick. Here you go.
Oh, that's so nice.
So you can see the windows are probably about hip level for Frankie and Ed. So Snoopy, you're able to sort of perk up and look in. And as you're looking through, you see Donovich walk in, and he kind of looks around real quick, and then he looks over in y'all's direction and then walks away.
Can I get around to this other window that I see through here? Can I walk around the side
Yeah.
this way?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay, so it looks like this place is pretty tore up on the inside.
Where's Frankie?
Oh, on the
Frankie,
side?
do you want me to go in there?
Well, I don't know what's happened in there, but it looks pretty tore up. I think if one of us needs to go in there, I think we all need to.
I can go check it out.
Because if it was just the priest that's been in there, then I don't think the place would look like that. If you can get in, then yeah.
All right.
I don't
Brady,
think
I'm
we
gonna
should.
blink right here and try and be stealthy.
Okay. Your blink allows you to go through objects.
It doesn't specify. It says that I can go anywhere that I can see.
Okay, yeah,
It
then
doesn't say
that
no.
would work. That would work. So you blink on in, and now you're inside, and you can hear door open and close down this hallway, and you hear. Let's see, there's supposed to be. Yeah, you can also hear a young man's screams of anguish being heard through the door. But as you kind of like just pop in, you see a 10-foot wide. You see this is a 10-foot wide corridor, and the ceiling's 20 feet tall. The hall is it's unlit and it reeks of mildew. You can see one door, I think. Yeah, you can see this one door right there, but you can't see anything else beyond that.
How old does this young man sound?
Um, Probably mid-20s.
Oh, okay. I was thinking child. I
No.
want to try and little arrow.
So as you're walking around,
I kind of want to do
this
one of these
chapel is
bad
in
boys.
shambles. Um, a religion
Can
check?
I try and what?
Did you just roll that? No, that was what are you trying to
No,
do?
I want to try and like sneak along this way and get to the edge and peer around.
Okay.
Can you see as I move it what I can see? Like, can
Yeah.
you see him? Okay, cool. So I see 4 doors, and I know it's coming from this one, the screams,
It does not sound like it is.
or they sound? Does it sound like fear or anger?
It's different.
Pain?
As you do get to that location, though, you can hear the voice as it says, "Father, I'm starving,"
Okay,
and it
so
just keeps going. Ah!
I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna blink out to Frankie and tell him what happened.
Okay,
Would you like me to roleplay that?
if you want to, you
That's
guys can role play as little or as much as you want.
okay.
I'm more for the role play because it is more fun, I think.
Okay. So I snuck around and I went down to the end of the hall, and there's somebody. He sounds like 20 years old, and he's screaming, and he's really hungry. I don't know what to do. What do you think, Frankie?
I mean, if someone's in there either being tortured or starved, I think we should get in there and help them.
I'm all for that.
Should we go see if we can get to the front door?
Yeah. Come on, Ed. Let's go.
Okay.
Um,
And then, so you
Is
would
there
have,
any-
you should have seen. I was meaning to read this off, but you were telling me what you were doing, so I didn't want to interrupt. But there were candles that lit up the chapel area, and you did see like all of the what's it called? All the benches and stuff were like broken and shattered and stuff like that.
Okay. Are there any windows right here? It doesn't look like it. Oops.
No.
I'm gonna
Did I-
try and quietly open the door. See if I'm gonna try and jiggle the handle and see if I can get it open.
Okay. Yeah, it's unlocked.
Okay.
Do you open it?
Slowly and as quietly as I can.
You guys did see it kind of like open up super slow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That was the hope.
All right. So I'm guessing we see these 4 doors on the side here, and the altar, which we saw before.
Yeah, and that
Do we
door to
see-
your right, your immediate right, is the one that you're hearing all the sounds from.
That one.
What is this? I can't see it in the picture very well.
It's a rope.
Is there anybody hanging from there or something?
No, it's for the bell tower.
Oh, okay.
So I guess if we get in a pickle, that'd be a good distraction.
Yeah. Which, do you want to go on this one first, Frankie? Or how do we want to go about this?
If we want to go straight into it, yeah. Did we see which way the priest went?
No.
I just know that he's went one of these. One of these 4.
Yeah. If you think we should just go straight into it, then I say let's go and try and see what's up.
Oh, Brady, I'm going to take this opportunity to fix my hand crossbow.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Outstanding move.
Okay, yeah, let's bust down this door.
You want to bust
Or-
it down, or do you want to try and like slowly get in?
Sneak.
So we
Sneak.
Okay. So we're gonna do about the same thing. Try and sneak
Yeah.
in and see if the door's unlocked first.
Yeah, I agree.
Or we get it.
Oh, I didn't know y'all could hear it because you weren't saying shit. So I'm over here just making it happen, waiting for a reaction.
we're
And it
we're
wasn't
trying to make our
happening.
plans, and there's just this screaming in the background.
My
So
bad.
we
I'm
get
over
it.
here
It's
like, man, did I fuck up my soundboard? Okay.
It's like the 8th time.
One
hearing
more
it,
for
like,
the ladies. All right. So yeah, the door is unlocked, and you open it.
Yeah. So I try and be quiet, just like I did with the first one.
Okay. And it's the door on the right, correct?
Yes, the one that you said the screaming sounds like it's coming from.
Okay, so you open it, and as it opens, Donovich is sitting there looking at the door, and he goes, please don't take this the wrong way. It's my son. I had to trap him.
Oh, he's a
I had to.
vampire. Damn.
Or werewolf? What's wrong with him?
Weeks ago, him and a bunch of others mounted up a revolutionary force and stormed Castle Ravenloft. And from what we could tell, he was the only one to return. But he wasn't himself. He turned. He's different. He craves blood. I was able to trap him down there, but he's been screaming countlessly all through the night. I've barely been able to sleep since it all happened.
Well, that's unfortunate. What would you like us to do? Would you like our help, or do you want to leave him there?
I don't know how to free him of this curse. I have never seen this curse. I fear that the only way to really deal with it is to kill the devil himself, or maybe something in his castle can change him back. But all of my prayers to the Morning Lord have gone unanswered. I pray all through the night and nothing happens. And you can see Donovich is starting to tear up, but he's absolutely exhausted, so he's not able to like break down and cry.
Well, boys,
I think we should try and help him.
yeah, we can help him. We can murder him, and he won't have the curse anymore. Just kidding.
Very wholesome.
That was my initial thought, but it doesn't sound like that's what Father wants.
Yeah, probably doesn't want his son to get murdered.
Well, we'll try our best. We'll do what we can. I want
Sorry.
I want a bath.
Before you leave, let me be completely honest with you of what happened. A year ago, a man in black robes came to our village, much like you all did, and insisted that the village rise up and attack as one to rid this land of Strahd. And we've not seen that man since, but that is when my son, he came back, the only one like this. I don't hunt. More than 30 men revolted that day, and for only one to come back, I don't know what hope there is.
It doesn't sound like there's much hope anywhere around here.
I honestly don't know what hope means anymore.
It's really sad.
Why? And he starts to cradle his face, and he's trying to cry, but he's just so weak that he can't. If you find anything out, please come to me. Let me know.
Do you know what happened to this hooded figure?
The last we all heard, he attacked Strahd and was
Oh,
never seen
okay.
since.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, we will do our best to help your son. I'm not sure how soon it will be, though, so you can also let us know if he seems like he's getting out of hand, and we can try to be some muscle for you.
Very good. I definitely appreciate it. But in all honesty, I haven't even seen my son since I trapped him down there almost a year ago.
Oh, this has been going on for a while.
I
I
haven't
see.
had restful sleep in what feels like forever.
How has he survived down there
If you'll
for a year?
excuse me, he moves out. I'm late for the sermon. And he starts walking up towards the altar. And he gets on his knees and bows his head, and he starts to pray.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Agreed.
Or go murder his kid.
Why not both?
Ooh, I like it.
Which is it? Murder the kid or?
I would rather murder the kid, but that's not not what my character would do.
Same. My character in my other campaign definitely would.
Your character.
My last rogue would have.
My last character would have. He would have killed him and used his arms for weapons.
It sounds like my kind of character.
would never hurt anyone that didn't deserve it. As you guys are starting to close the door for one last time.
Outstanding.
So real quick, we've been going on for about 2 hours, and your boys got to use the bathroom. So let's take about 3 to 5 minutes or so, and once we're all back, we will continue.
All right.
Joe's back.
All right. I'm back.
Okay, who's back? Joe's back. Brady's back.
Yeah, Robert's still in the bathroom. Is Zach back? Nope. So that's okay. I gotta figure out. There's a. You know what? Wow, I didn't even know that.
Cool.
That was my bad. There's a thing with Streamlabs OBS where you can push your streams out to multiple things at once. So right now I'm able to, with the push of a button, I'm streaming on Twitch, Facebook, and Mixer, and YouTube.
Nicole was watching this stream. Shout out to her if she's watching.
Say what?
Nicole was watching the stream.
That's hilarious. Yeah, actually Ingrid popped in for a second, but see, I didn't like the OBS has a chat box, and I was expecting like if anyone was actually chatting, it would pop up there. But Facebook does it differently, so like people were talking, and I ignored the shit out of them. So
What were they saying?
One of my buddies was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know that you could play D&D online. He'd love to play, but if he can't answer, he gets it." And then another buddy was like, "Yo, I'm playing this right now," and a lot of people are like, "What up, dude?" And then it's just, nothing happening. And then I finally come in, and I'm like, "Sorry guys, didn't know."
That's so funny.
Yeah. I didn't know anyone would actually watch. I kind of just accidentally pressed that button that gives it all the stuff. But hey, it worked. That's pretty cool. Wish there was a thing that would just make you go to display unified chat. This will make it so much easier. Oops. Yeah, while we wait for Zach. Is he muted?
Back? Yeah, he's back.
Alright, there he is.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, what perfect timing. Hold on, I'm making it to where I can actually have a single chat box for all of these services. That way I don't ignore the shit out of people and I can actually get viewers maybe. It's a stretch. But it's worth it. We're gonna become YouTube famous, guys.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Brady Mercer.
I could only wish. Oh wow, there it is.
I'm
Hey,
going
that's
to
pretty
need to
neat.
work on my accent. No way, you know that video. I love when people know. How neat is that?
That's pretty neat.
That's where nature came from. And he's a bear.
Here we
Enter
go.
broadcast
Yep.
announcement. Let's see if that works.
Shake things up a little bit.
Yep,
Here we go.
Yep. Splinter's listening to you make that noise right now, Robert, and he's trying to figure out where it's coming from. He's in the hallway right now, tilting his head like, where the hell is that coming from?
Yep.
There it goes. Hold on, let me put this on the stream real quick. Do it again.
Yep.
Here we go. Yep. Watch out for tree poop. Don't get it on your tootsies.
Oh my god, look at Splinter. He's like, what the hell is that? He's like, oh my god, what is that noise? That's hilarious. Alright. So you guys get back to the mansion. And there you see Irene and Ismark have their backpacks. They've got a couple different provisions and stuff like that for a long journey. And Boris is there sharpening his axe.
I go up to Boris as Snoopy, and I say, "Hey, Boris, what do you call a woman that only has one leg?"
I don't know. What do you...
Eileen. What about an Asian person
Irene
that
looks
only
at
has
you
one leg?
with a little bit of disgust, but because you're a puppy, it's also kind of cute.
And what do you call an Asian woman with one leg?
Irene.
Irene.
She's kind of puzzled. What is an Asian?
Asian no talk like this.
That don't think I've ever seen or heard anyone talk like that before. Ismark, are you sure that these comrades are capable?
We come from a different land. I don't think there's any Asians in this world without
They
a
talk like this.
I'd be lying if I say I didn't squint my eyes.
You got to, I guess, for the persona. Thank God I have 0 viewers because otherwise, oh boy.
you can be getting banned.
I don't think I'd get
Okay.
banned, but let's see.
Man, if we have to be that careful, this is gonna get rough. Let me tell you. Let us know if you want us to be more socially acceptable.
No, I honestly don't
Probably
give a
not
shit.
going to happen. Yeah.
I pretty much stream just so that I can put it to my YouTube and always have like have it there if I need to go back and view something and be like, what the hell did they do?
Okay.
So, and I do it for my other campaign because it's homebrew. I don't know if you guys take notes or anything, but are you guys good with just me doing the recaps at the beginning of the sessions, or do you want me to type out like a sort of bullet point list of what you guys did so you can look back on it later yourselves?
I'm
I wouldn't
totally cool
mind.
with just the recaps.
Yeah, we
That's
don't need a
plenty for me.
whole 50-page paper. What we just did.
Okay.
At least, definitely for now. If it starts getting crazy, maybe, but no, you don't need to put the effort in right now.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Dope. In that case, let's see. So you do know from by looking at the sky, it is starting to get dark. Irene looks at her brother. Maybe it's best we stay one more night now that Father's put to rest, and we can leave early tomorrow. I'm sure if he comes back, they can protect me. Ismark looks to all of you. Well, your cute dog does look a little hurt. Perhaps rest is proper. I'm so uneasy lately. I want to get Irene to a safe place as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can smell, but we did fight garbage. We do not smell.
Well, we could get some hot water for you for a bath.
The second you say bath.
Here it goes.
Snoopy's tail goes straight between his legs and just looks so scared, giving you the wide-eyed.
That's hilarious. I assume you don't honestly mind the smell, then, dog?
I look at him and say, I love it. There's nothing I'd rather smell like than this right now.
If you want, I could give you a treat if you let me bathe you.
Ooh, what kind of treat?
He looks around and he gets a little piece of jerky out of his backpack. This could all be
Deal.
yours, and it's okay. Very good. It's actually quite nice that I can speak with you on these matters and of importance, as opposed to having to fight.
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to be so deceitful.
Okay,
I'm sure you
so,
understand with the only people we've met being murderous and ghosts. So
it definitely.
you were the first person we met that turned out to be a person.
Oh well, that honestly sucks. So at this point, you guys will be taking a long rest. So
God.
go ahead and grab all your hit points. Grab any. I'm pretty sure you guys spent hit dice, so grab half of them. Or I guess grab 2 of your hit dice if you use them. If you have spell slots, go ahead and replenish them. If you have once a day abilities and stuff, make sure you replenish those as well. But during your long rest, you guys essentially, some of you kind of like look out the window just to make sure things are kind of calm. All of you are able to take a bath at some point in time. But this would be the moment we would allow what I call campfire stories. So you guys can role play with each other, and like you can make up a tale of your character's backstory if you've written one. You can make it up on the spot if you want to, of something they may have seen, something in a land that none of you know about because you haven't actually been given any information about the world you came from. But if you want to make up something that sounds somewhat reasonable for a land that has 8 different empires, various races and creeds, various backgrounds and cultures. There's all types of biomes and stuff. You got desert, you've got tundra, you've got ice, glacier, islands, you've got all types of stuff. So if any of you want to role play and tell a story, go for it. Otherwise, you don't have to.
During this whole thing, I would like to identify the magic cloak that I stumbled across.
All right. So let me go and gotta find.
You want I should tell Ed's story? Just make up. His
make up
background
some
for him.
random ass shit. So
Yes.
this is now shown to you.
Oh, protection.
It is a Cloak of Protection. You get a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws while you wear the cloak. It does require attunement. Attunement, for those of you that may not know, it requires I'm pretty sure it's a long rest to get attuned to an item, and you can be attuned to 3 items at a time. If the item gets destroyed, if you spend enough time unattuning to the item, or if it gets a certain distance away from you, then that's how you break your attunement.
Okay. I will adorn the Cloak of Protection.
Okay, so you guys watch as Snoopy pulls out this cloak out of his backpack and starts to wear it. So now you've got this dog with an eye patch and a cloak, and he looks regal as fuck.
I'd like to try and fortify the house here.
Okay.
We're staying for at least a long rest period.
It'd be nice not to wake up to an ambush.
Or
Hey,
do anything so that something can't get in.
it's a good idea.
Yeah, so you do see all the windows are kind of boarded up already, but you kind of go over and you move them to try to see if you're able to break them easily. And if some of them are a little looser, and you find some hammer and some nails around the place, it's a mansion. They've got a lot of tools and stuff. and you're able to go around and kind of patch up some of the spots that are a little bit weaker than others.
Mhm.
But yeah, you do this for probably just so during the long rest, it's 8 hours, and you can spend 2 of it doing light activities like reading or going around and putting a couple nails in the wall is fine. But afterwards, you end up needing to go to sleep. So you do this for a little while just to make sure you're all good. Irene gets really sleepy really quick and goes on to sleep. Ismark watches over her for a little bit before he goes to sleep as well. If any of you end up trying to take a watch, I know Boris would probably be taking the first watch, and then there would be 3 others to follow. So if anyone wants to take a watch, let me know which one, and then go ahead and roll perception checks.
I'll take the first, and then I'll go ahead and roll.
Okay. So, Boris, as he's, making sure everything's boarded up properly, you kind of put a big old bookshelf in front of the front door after you lock it, just to make sure. And you're pretty proud of your work. You go through, and the small cracks that you can look out, you do, but you can't see anything because you don't have dark vision. So you instead press your ear up against it, and all you kind of hear is like the howl of the wind as the breeze kind of floats. You can hear leaves rustling in the distance through the town, and then as you look out again, you see green light coming from the church.
Well, I'm gonna go. Wait, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'm gonna let my guys rest up and see if I
Okay.
can anything changes.
So you kind of get to what you go and look for a slightly bigger hole, and you're able to find one that you're able to like kind of look out both with both eyes instead of just one, and you're able to see off in the distance what looks to be little green ghostly figures leaving the cemetery, and as they get onto the main pathway, they start heading towards the west. But the rest of the houses kind of block your view from that point.
Okay, I'm gonna wake people up. I'm gonna wake everyone up.
Yeah, Ismark gets
That's
up. What are you doing? Is there something there?
green glowing figures coming from the church, heading. You said more like into the. Let me see.
So you said you woke all of us up, correct?
Yes, everyone's
Okay.
up.
I'm going to take a look because I have dark vision.
Okay.
Okay. So your dark vision goes 60 feet, and beyond that is complete darkness. You're about like 500 feet away from the cemetery. But you
Well,
see the same sort of ghostly greenish images coming from the cemetery and pouring into the streets and heading west.
got it.
You get to a different location of the house, and then you do see these ghostly figures starting to pop out from beyond this location, walking down this road. As you continue to look, the eerie green light that's coming from the graveyard ends up showing you wavering images of dowdy women taunting great swords, wise men with slender bows, dwarves with glittering axes, and arcanic dressed mages with beards and strange pointed hats. All of these and more march forth from the graveyard, their numbers growing by the second. And they keep just pouring out of the graveyard. walking down. It's almost like a small army, and then it becomes its own army, and then gets even bigger and bigger. It's almost like thousands of ghosts are just walking from this cemetery, heading to who knows where.
Oh, we can take them.
Well, as long as it's not a threat, I don't think it's anything we should worry too much about. I mean, it's not like we're gonna want to run out of a barricaded house to go and investigate these. Who knows how many thousand
Why
people walking
not?
around.
I might ask those two if we've seen this before.
Ismark goes, yes, this is a nightly occurrence, actually. It's been deemed the March of the Dead. Those that you're looking at, those are the familiar faces, some of them to me. The ones that were called to this land to rid us of our curse. And as you can see, they failed. And every night, they try again and again, but they never succeed. And I hope that times change and maybe you will not all meet the same fate.
Yikes.
You do see a Luxodon that looks like Mason Jorn walking across with them.
Sad. Well,
But other than that, there's no real reason to be alarmed. But I understand where you're all coming from with that. It is an eerie sight for the first time, but you get used to it.
Well, you guys can head back to sleep, and I can finish my shift. Or is my shift almost over? Or...
Yeah, it'd be close to being over, so I think
I'll take-
Oh, go
Frankie
ahead.
was taking second since he rolled perception already.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay. So Boris and the rest of the gang go ahead and nestle down for the night. And Frankie goes around checking all of Boris's work, and you don't find any mess ups. You start to think maybe Boris was a carpenter or something. He's really good at this whole boarding up thing. And as you look out as you go towards each side of the house, and in the distance you see like packs of wolves sort of circling the house, sniffing around, and then running away into the woods further beyond your sight. But none of them seem to be trying to actively get into the mansion. More just scouting the area.
As long as they're staying outside of my sight line, and not coming any closer than that, I'm not going to do anything. If I see any of them start to move in, even one of them start to move in, then I'll start to wake people up.
Okay.
But until that point,
luckily,
as long as they're not being a threat, I'm going to let my party rest.
Okay. Yeah, and they're not trying to do anything. They're more or less scouting, it seems. Next person that is taking watch, either Ed or Snoopy.
Snoopy will do it.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead and roll Snoopy a perception check for me. So Snoopy's at a small disadvantage because he's not tall enough to peer out the boarded up windows. Boris did too good a job. But he is able to perk up his ears and take a nice listen. And you can hear the flapping of feathered wings as they start landing onto the mansion. You can hear the low growls of wolves, and then the high-pitched caws of some ravens. almost as if they're arguing with each other. Eventually, you kind of like you run up the stairs to the second story, trying to find a spot, and there is a small little I don't know what you would call it, but it's like a counter that you're able to jump up on and then kind of look through a crack, and you can see a raven sitting out there on the roof, looking at this wolf and cawing at it constantly. The wolf growling, baring its teeth, and then finally giving up and running into the darkness. The
Hey.
raven then keeps the perch, and it kind of like as you're sitting there looking out, it turns its head towards you, looking at you.
Hey, so I actually speak dog. Was I able to pick up on what the wolves were communicating about?
No, the wolves weren't. Actually,
You just hear a
well,
fuck you.
I'll say yeah. Since you do speak dog, which we actually barking. It's funny. You speak barking. The wolf was growling. You don't understand shit. I'm just joking. You do hear the wolf say, "You can't protect them forever," and then it
The
runs
raven?
away. The wolf
So
says
I'm gonna.
that,
Yeah, right, to
and
the
it
raven.
says it to the
So the
The
raven,
looks
at me.
at you, yeah, and it looks at you and goes, "Caw!" and then flies away.
What a sweet dude. Alright. Guess that's all I'll do.
Now you can roll perception for Ed as you wake his drow ass up.
Do you know if he did his innate spellcasting on here, or does he not get it yet?
I don't think he did actually, because I didn't see it. So,
I played a drow, and I
But-
know they get a couple cool spells.
yeah,
Gotta
yeah,
remind him when he comes back.
yeah. I mean, his issue. Well, so far I think Joe, you're the only. I think your character sheet is the only one that's fully completed. I think maybe Boris is done now. Did you finish yours, Zach?
Yeah, it should be good to go.
Okay.
The only thing was my rage specialty.
Okay. And you picked your level 3. You picked the Berserker, right?
Yeah, I passed
Nice.
the Berserker.
Good call.
Okay.
I was almost gonna trigger it in that last battle, but I saved it.
Did you
Is that
just
the one that
add
gets
the Berserker
exhaustion?
stuff? Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see anything about your Berserker on your sheet. As long as you remember what it does, that's fine, because I know what the Berserker
Yeah.
does as well.
I bring up the other page.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think Kevin's been really busy this week, so he hasn't been able to finish his sheet. And I know Swaff has also been really busy, so it happens. But with his perception check, he wakes up and he goes around, and he's the only one that doesn't see anything cool because he's not here. So roasted. So the night goes on without any major incidents happening. You guys all end up waking up fully rested. Ismark and Irene are kind of cooking a breakfast in their kitchen, and they make enough stuff for everyone to be able to get a nice belly full before your journey. They even make a special dog-friendly dish for Snoopy.
Sweetest people around these parts.
So,
Right.
with that, as you guys prepare for your journey, I need to know a couple things. I need to know what your marching order is, and I need to know if you guys are going at a slow, normal, or fast pace.
I'll be in front.
I'll
I'll
take
be
the route.
I'll be with the front. Can we do 2x2 or 1x1 or is that?
Yeah, you could do
We
2
just
by
go
2.
5 abreast.
I mean, you
I'll go up
could.
front
The road,
too.
yeah, the road is about 10 feet wide, and you could do that. It would just be like really scrunched, and some people would be walking off the road, which is honestly fine if you want to.
Okay.
Can we just like surround her?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good
that
idea.
is what you want to do.
I think
That is what you want to do.
the four of us should surround her, and then I think we should have Snoopy out scouting around, sniffing.
Yeah, I can go in front.
Okay.
I ain't no bitch.
Okay.
Get it.
All right, and then I'll assume a normal pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we're not looking to run or anything.
Dun, 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 dun.
So it'll take you, let's see, 3 miles. You guys can walk in an hour. So you guys start walking, and the sun obviously is still not showing. It's light enough outside for you to be able to see stuff, but like the clouds, it's really dark and murky sky, murky gray skies. The trees that you're able to see now, you see the fog, but it's not as thick as it once was. It's a lot thinner, but it surrounds the wood that's kind of to the northwest area of the village. You guys get probably about roughly a mile into your journey, and you come across a what is it called? You come across a river crossing, so a little stone bridge. And as you get closer to it, you see that the river flows as clear as a blue winter sky through the valley. And the river looks like it's roughly about 50 foot wide, but you're not able to tell exactly how deep it is until you start crossing the bridge. Some of you are curious and look, and it looks like it's maybe like 10, 15 feet deep. Some parts are a lot shallower, other parts are a lot deeper, you know, various different things. But as you cross the bridge, you get probably about another mile into your journey, and you're completely surrounded by surrounded by woods, except for the trail that you walk on. And you can hear various things outside in the brush and stuff. You hear all sudden movements causing the brush to move. You hear the creaking of the wood as it almost feels like the branches are clawing at the sky for an escape. You could just feel this ever encroaching kind of dread, and all of a sudden you hear the caw of a raven. Snoopy, you look up and you see this one raven looking at you in a very, very familiar way.
I kind of do. I'll just say, hello, Mr. Friend. Thank you for saving us last night.
Ah! And
I'll
the
try
raven,
and speak to him in the dog. Say that to him in dog.
Okay. Accurate, actually. After a few moments of you guys kind of sitting, walking along, and this raven cawing, a few more ravens perch in, and they start looking at you.
Oh shit, White Walkers.
Few more, like maybe about a quarter mile of you guys walking, and more ravens fly in. Now there's probably about like 2 flocks of maybe 20 each.
Well, damn.
This is spooky.
And as you guys continue walking about another quarter mile, you guys hear the wolves starting to howl in the distance. And
I'm gonna
even
start
more
baying back.
ravens. Yeah, more ravens swarm to the area. There's probably about 100 of them now.
Gonna turn that one way down. I could barely hear you. I thought you were playing that, and I was just waiting for it to end. I'm sitting like, damn.
Oh, no. That's Mr. VJ. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, damn,
Hey, I
this
think this is a
asshole
great
over
place to stop and rest.
here. Definitely.
You guys gotta wait for like 16 hours.
Well, let's wait.
Well, you can do a short rest, actually. But no, so you get another half mile before you see a fork in the road. But at this fork in the road, you see a somewhat familiar sight. You see a woman dressed the same way as those 3 women that were at the tavern the day before, standing at the middle of the crossroads, sitting on like a log, and it looks like she's making a wood carving. And as you guys approach, you're probably about 100 feet away from her when you notice her, and she looks up and notices you all.
Do not cast spell on me, Gypsy.
Should Snoopy go investigate?
She definitely
Send
saw
the dog.
us.
Send the dog.
I'll go check her out.
Sniff around.
Yeah.
Okay, so Snoopy goes ahead and walks on forward. How close do you get to her? Before
Well,
you
I
I
can-
guess probably. Do you say anything, or how do you
Just
do
be a
this
dog.
exactly?
I'm gonna pretend to be a dog.
Okay.
Do the dog thing. Kind of go up to her, like, stop 30 feet away, conveniently. And kind of
Okay.
like look
So
and
you
see
get-
what she does.
Okay, you get 30 feet away, and she's been carving the whole time, and she looks up again, kind of like her face is peering down to where if she just moves her eyes, she can see you guys, and she does just that, moves her eyes up and sees you, and she does one last gets one last sliver of wood before she puts the knife to her side and puts the wood carving down. She stands up and kind of gets on one knee, puts out her hand. Come here. Come here.
I do that silly dog run up to her.
Okay. With the ears flapping, the
trot
tongue
and
out,
yeah,
and yeah,
that one.
I know. Yeah. So you do that, and you come up to her, and she starts to pet you, and she smells like a nice sweet perfume. It's honestly probably one of the better things that you've smelled since you got to this location. So it's actually kind of nice. But she
Nice.
starts to pet you. And let's see.
Just like I'm petting Splinter.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's
she
not a
doesn't.
good pet.
No. Yeah, she doesn't scratch you in the right spot like Ishmark. But like it still feels good. I don't think any dog. I'm sure they got some spots where they're like, "Yo, quit that." But this
I'm gonna
is not one of
pretend
those pets.
that I like it more than I actually do. Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. You're able to start stomping your foot, and she starts to giggle a little bit. What a cute dog. And she peers up and looks at the rest of your group. Well, come on. Obviously, I don't bite, and neither does your dog.
And being a dog character has some serious advantages.
Facts.
Alright, well, I guess we'll start heading toward her.
And boom, 5th level fireball.
No. It's Much as I would love to, I'm not an asshole DM.
Party wipe.
Darn, baby.
From one
Just
random
'cause.
person on a
Like, it's not just one fire.
the delayed one.
It's what all the crows turn into. Just 40 of them coming down.
God.
Let's see. So, as you guys approach, this woman stops petting Snoopy, and the howling begins again. I don't think I like this track. I'm gonna get a different track, because the wolves are a little much. It's good for the first part.
It sounds like they're
Not
about to attack, not just in the background.
Yeah, I just want them in the background, so this should be a lot better. Unless it's like a bunch of chirping birds. Okay, it's a bunch of chirping birds. You hear 0 birds. I'll be looking through this through my sounds while we roleplay this part. But as you guys get closer, well, I haven't seen anyone as well dressed as me for quite some time. Where do you all come from?
Not around here.
Well, that much I can tell. Care to go into a little more details?
I don't remember what the town is that we came from.
You remember the Ciavitas Empire. Otherwise, you weren't really from that area. None of you were born there, I don't believe. More than likely, you weren't born there. So we'll say that, yeah, you guys don't remember the name of the town.
Sounds good. So yeah.
Huh, quite strange. So, what brings you here?
We were out adventuring and we got sucked in by the mist.
Ah, interesting. You know, that sounds a lot... She starts to ponder for a moment. Yes. Interesting indeed, now that I think about it. It almost sounds as if you're the ones that Madame Eva was talking about.
Eva?
Yes, Madame Eva. She's somewhat of a leader of our people. She's right down the road, and she said that eventually some adventures would come and rid this land of the curse. And I have to assume that you are them, which means that my job is to bring you all to her.
I want to see if this chick's lying. This seems fishy.
Okay, roll insight. Yeah, so from what you can gander, there's no wavering tones. She's not stumbling upon her words. She's truthful.
Okay.
So
I'm
who do
gonna
we have the
ask
pleasure
her
of
what
meeting?
her name is, yeah.
Yeah.
You can call me Alana.
My name is Frankie.
Frankie, what
Boris.
a curious name.
Don't ask.
They call me Ed. And
We've got all these.
And your dog
these-
is the cutest thing. What is his name? As she
That is
starts scratching
Snoopy.
your chin. Yeah, did you change his name at all, Joe, or is it Snoopy from here on
it's
out?
Snoopy for now. Yep.
Okay,
From here on out, I kind of dig it.
I can dig it too, so it'll work. Let's see. So, yes, our encampment is just down the road, about probably another mile. Shouldn't take us long. And your friends, they're quite quiet. And Ismark, he's kind of got this defensive posture, but you can definitely tell that he's more paranoid than anything. And he just kind of mumbles and he says, if our compatriots wish to follow, then we will as well. But try anything, and I will not hesitate to strike you down.
Damn.
And she kind of puts her hands up in a very like don't shoot kind of manner. And she's like, well, excuse me for asking. Well then, shall we?
Lead the way.
Okay. So as you walk down this pathway, the road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path through the trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the coming and goings of wagons. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way to black clouds boiling far above. There is a clearing here, next to a river that widens to form a small lake several hundred feet across. 5 colorful round tents, each 10 feet in diameter, are pitched outside a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, its sagging form lit from within. Near this tent, 8 unbridled horses drink from the river. The mournful strains of an accordion clash with the singing of several brightly clad figures around a bonfire. A footpath continues beyond this encampment, meandering north between the river and the forest edge. Looks like they started the party without us. Alana seems to be getting amped up as you guys get closer to the encampment. Which
Party for
I
what?
will... Why, we are always in celebration.
You seem to be the only ones in this land.
You seem to be the what?
The only ones in this land that we are celebrating or have any kind of joy.
Well, of course. Why would we not be? Life is worth living. These Borovian people are always sad, and it brings us down, so we typically don't hang around them for too long. So as you guys get closer, actually let me find Ismark and Irene. Okay, cool. All right, so as you guys get closer, you do see the bonfire is all lit up, and there's like a bunch of people that are kind of just hanging out and dancing. They're all drinking wine, stuff like that. And as Alana brings you guys in closer, she goes, "Come on, drinks for our friends!" And they all start cheering and go, "Here!" And they hand you all, each of you except for Snoopy, they hand you a water skin that's full of wine. Come, drink! Tell us stories! We love hearing stories!
Anybody else?
No one's got a story? Come on, someone roleplay a story.
I don't want to
us a
roll.
story.
Hey, Kevin's character's story.
And tell your own, dude. You're a dog.
But I'm a dog, and they don't know I'm awakened yet.
That's true.
Then make up Boris's story. Give us the accent.
You mean Ed's?
Or Ed's, yes. Not Boris, Ed's.
Okay. Well, one time I was in forest, and I had to chop down tree. But turns out tree was not tree. I chop. Turns out tree was Ent, and it got very mad. And I, Ed, in the forest, had to fight Ent by myself. Why does this drow have a Russian accent? I forget he's a drow.
You gave him the Russian accent. I'm about to text Kevin real quick and be like, yo, you got a Russian accent now. He'll be like, bro, what the fuck? I love it.
Ent is very strong, so I run away, and I no bring firewood. Wait, what's his charisma?
That's a
I
pussy
don't
ass
know.
His
story.
charisma.
I mean, that just falls in with his his yesterday's actions.
Okay, it's horrible. I was trying to tell a bad story.
Well, you did good. The the people around the campfire kind of look at you. Yeah, and they all hold up their water skins and they start drinking, hoping that you guys cheer along with them as they start laughing. What a story! Weird, but a story.
All right, you ready for this?
Oh yeah.
Snoopy, I go up by the fire and I start talking. I'm assuming that's surprising. I say,
Yeah, a lot of the people are like, I need to lay off the wine.
and I say this. My arcane master enjoyed me so much that when I was on his deathbed, he cast his final spell to awaken me. He told me, go be the goodest boy out there. Even though you're awakened, do not forget the qualities that made you so great. Always be a good boy, and never let the dog in you disappear. Now go and find friends and make their lives as happy as you made mine. I sat by his side as he took his last breath. After that, I left to fulfill my late master's only request. I ended up with a rough crowd though I didn't know it at the time. And they taught me my roguish abilities, capitalizing on my natural stealthy and quick abilities, and of course my cuteness. They taught me that being a good boy can mean different things. The greater good is what matters, not necessarily the means by which you get there. I caught on that they were actually not good at all, so I left that crowd before I got into real trouble. I kept my moral code and my rogue skills, but ditched the bad influences and stumbled across these, my friends, the peacekeepers.
You see, all of them have their jaws dropped, and one of them goes,
All right,
And so
Goofy.
Snoopy just like expected so much more. And he just puts his tails between his legs and kind of slumps away.
as you do that, hey! And they all start to, they're like, I'll drink the rest of this one. And he takes what looks to be like probably 3/4 of his water skin and he starts chugging that shit. And he's just drinking in Snoopy's honor. And afterwards, he's like, now I know that I'm fucked up, and yeah, you can talk all you want, little dog. And he comes over and he starts petting you. The rest of them are like, that dog wasn't talking, it was that one. And he points to Ed with the Russian. He sounded exactly the same. They've just got it coordinated, is all. Nah, no, that was the dog talking. And I know, 'cause I speak dog, and I heard him with my soul. And they all start to argue back and forth about if the dog actually was talking or if it was Ed being a ventriloquist and stuff like that. But eventually, they just start drinking again. And then one of them, he peers forward, gets really close to the fire for dramatic effect. I've got a story. A mighty wizard came to this land over a year ago. I remember him like yesterday. He stood exactly where you're standing, and he points to Boris. A very charismatic man he was. He thought he could rally the people of Borovia against the devil Strahd himself. He stirred them with thoughts of revolt and bore them to the castle in mass. But when the vampire appeared, the wizard's peasant army fled in terror. A few stood their ground, but were never seen again. And he gets in closer to where like the shadow from the fire really like makes his face look really kind of creepy. The wizard and the vampire cast spells at each other. Their battle flew from the courtyards of Ravenloft to the precipice overlooking the falls. I saw the battle with my own eyes, and he takes 2 fingers and points them towards his eyes. Shadow shook the mountainside. The great rocks tumbled down upon the wizard, yet by his magic he survived. Lightning from the heavens struck the wizard, and again he stood his ground. But when the devil Strahd fell upon him, the wizard's magic could not save him. I saw him thrown 1,000 feet to his death. I climbed down the river, searched for the wizard's body, see if, maybe he had anything of value. But the river, Ilvis, had already spurred him away. And with that, he has his like hands sort of outstretched over the fire, and you just hear like the popping of the embers and the crackling of the flames. And he kind of sits down, takes a drink. Here's to that wizard. May he find peace in the afterlife, if it exists. And he takes a big swig. The rest of them are all kind of quiet, and they all take a swig as well.
Hey! Oh, no.
Time and place, friend, time and place. Speaking of which, obviously you're here for a reason, are you not?
We are.
Alana? And she looks at him. Yeah, I think these are the ones that Madame Eva was talking about. They all get silent again. Oh? Well. And they kind of all start to make a path for you to get through them. She's right over there. And they point to this tent.
Well, let's go.
Okay, I gotta pull up a thing. Alright. I need to pull up one more thing. So as you guys approach the tent and get closer to it, magic flames cast a reddish glow over the interior of this tent, revealing a low table covered in a black velvet cloth. Glints of light seem to flash from a crystal ball on the table as a hunched figure peers into its depths. As the crone speaks, her voice crackles with dry weeds. Ah, at last you've arrived. Cackling laughter burst like mad lightning from her withered lips.
That's amazing.
Welcome. Come, have a seat. I've been waiting for you for quite some time. Boris, Ed, Frankie, and let's not forget young Snoopy, the awakened canine.
How do you know who we are?
I am Madame Eva. I know a great deal. The cards told me so. And it was the fortunes that told me you would be here tonight. Which, speaking of fortunes, and she pulls out a deck of cards and places it on the table. Would you like yours to be read tonight?
Ooh, yes, 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 yes.
Very good. Let me get. I think I have music for this.
Am I the only one getting their fortune read?
No,
No.
it's the whole
Guesses of
group
death.
essentially.
Oh, cool. It's like, you guys better.
Hi, Nicole.
Is
She's
she on the
watching.
stream?
Yeah, it just popped up that she's there. And my boy Vogler,
Oh, you
what up,
just
dude?
she just missed my story.
Vogler's
then.
on here.
Yeah, Vogler's on here, dude. What
Damn,
up,
Cody
man?
Odie.
Let me make sure I've got everything that I need, because I don't want to accidentally fuck this up. There it is. He put a smiley face. I like it. Okay. I just gotta, because there's a lot that I have to read, and I'm making sure I've got it all so that I don't accidentally mess it up.
Joe Feel.
Let's see, I need to look at... Okay. All right, cool. So I'll have to like move back and forth. So there's probably I'll do like a little bit of delay. But I heard Ingrid just get home, so let me go and greet her so I don't stop in the middle of it. So everyone, let's take a real quick potty break, because we'll end the session after we do this part. So
Cool.
real quick potty break. Be back in like less than 5 minutes.
Yep.
Alright, is Joe back?
I'm here.
Is Zach back?
Here.
Cool. And Swaff is probably sitting down as we speak.
Oh, what is that one thing called? The deck of what?
Many things.
Many things.
Yep, here we go. Time for
No,
a
no,
wipe.
this is not. This is not the deck of many things. That
That'd
would
be
be
an
awful.
interesting way to start a campaign. Somebody else pulling the deck of many things for your party. Oh, and you're
How
all
many
dead.
cards, dear? Also kidding. She does not say that.
All of them. Give me everything.
I want everything.
I'll be max level. Like, I'll be dead, but I'll be maxed.
Technically, yeah. Let me just make sure I did this correctly. Draw it. Okay, so common deck. Cool. 6 of coins. I'm actually gonna open up 2 tabs of this.
I changed my mind. I don't want it red.
Too late. Or all right, kidding. Anyway, so she brings you all in around her table, and she starts to shuffle the deck. And as she finishes shuffling, she fans out the cards and puts them in front of Boris. Pick a card, dear.
I'm going straight for the middle.
Okay. And you pull a card, and she tells you to place it onto the mat on the left side, which you do. She then grabs the card, and she flips it over. Ah! The 6 of coins, the beggar. It represents a sudden change in economic status or fortune. This card tells of history, knowledge of the ancient, and it will help you better understand your enemy. There's a wounded elf that has what you seek. And as she's saying this, she's got one hand in front of her little crystal ball, and she's got her eyes closed, and she's leaning her head back just a little bit. And in her other hand, her right hand, she's got some sort of like these little beads. Think of kind of like what are those Catholic prayer beads, but
Anal beads?
you know, obviously not Catholic. Yeah. And she's kind of rubbing them with one hand, and she continues. This elf will part with the treasure to see his dark dreams fulfilled. And then she kind of leans forward, grabs the deck, gives it another shuffle, fans it out in front of you, holds it in front of Frankie. Your turn, dear. Draw a card and place it face down right here. And she points towards this location.
Alright, I do so.
Alright, 3. Okay. Let me get to flip. Boom. Ah, the 3 of glyphs. Healing. A contagious illness, disease, or curse. Those who practice the healing arts. That is what this card represents. And this card tells of a powerful force for good and protection. a holy symbol of great hope. Look to the west. Find a pool blessed by the light of the white sun. Therein lies your prize. She gives the deck another shuffle, fans it out, puts it to Snoopy. Your turn.
I pat at it with my paw.
Okay. So you use your paw. And that one is cool. And she has you place it on the right side. And then she flips it over. Ah, the Master of Glyphs. This card represents enlightenment. Those who follow a deity, a system of values, or a higher purpose. Then she looks directly at Ed as she's saying all this. This card. This is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance. A sword of pure sunlight. You will find what you seek in the castle, amid the ruins of a place of supplication. Only 2 more to go. As she shuffles the deck, she fans it out and holds it up to Ed. Your turn, dear.
I picked this one.
Okay. Let me get to... Gotta find... There it is. Okay. And she has you place it on the bottom. And then she flips it over. Ah, the horseman. Where'd it go? This card represents death. Disaster in the form of the loss of wealth or property. Perhaps a horrible defeat or the end of an entire bloodline. What this card will tell you, it will shed light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness. I see a dead man of noble birth, guarded by his widow. Return life to the man's corpse, and he will be your staunch ally. She shuffles it one last time. This time, she spreads the cards, but they don't fall. And they essentially float in the air around her. And she starts to, she takes her finger and hits the corner of a few of them, making them spin almost into a never-ending cycle. Afterwards, she ends up collapsing all of them together as one, and one card pokes out. And she holds the deck. Please, one of you, grab and reveal the final card.
I'll grab it.
Okay. So let me get to a thing. Which one? Whoops, I lost my thing. There it is. Cool. There's so... Oh man, this is all out of place. I apologize. And as she flips the card... I don't know why the deck decided not to work that time. And you flip it over. Ha! The Donjon. This card represents isolation and imprisonment. being so conservative in thinking as to be a prisoner of one's own beliefs, as she gauges each of your reactions individually. This card. Your enemy is a creature of darkness, whose powers are beyond mortality, and this card will lead you to him. He lurks in a hall of bones, in the dark pits of his castle. That is where you will find your greatest enemy. And she kind of leans in, and there's this weird like red glow from her orb, and it kind of casts a shadow on her face. The devil Strahd. And as she starts to cackle, I don't want to do it within the mic because I don't want to hurt your ears, but she cackles, and then it gets louder and then louder, and then that's where we'll end our session.
Roll initiative.
Nah, but so if I can, I'll actually put into the Discord exactly what she said. That way, you guys don't have to try to remember all of this. So the things that she said about the cards, I'll make sure that I might just put it into a Word document and post it on there, and then you can download it and look at it. That would probably save a lot more space on Discord. Other than that, I assume Thursdays are cool with Zach and Swaff for the future, right?
Yeah, I should be
Yeah,
good.
as far as I know.
A lot of stuff taken care of, so I should be free.
All right, cool. Yeah, so if they don't, I'm sure we could on sometimes do Fridays as well. But typically, at least until I get to tech school, Thursdays are definitely better for me because they have me working like every Saturday at 5 a.m. And I would rather, try to get some rest before that. But let me go ahead and end my stream real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, hopefully everyone had a good old time. This was the pinnacle of the session. So for those of you that are watching now, you came at a good time. But this was a really good session. I think we had a lot of fun. My favorite part so far about this whole campaign is the whole sort of death horror aspect. The fact that their evil bad guy is always a threat. He's ever looming, ever present. He comes at the party at the worst moments, and he pretty much just screws with them. So it's actually pretty fun. It's a different change of pace compared to normal fantasy D&D. So yeah, it's so far so good, and this is a good group. I'm sure they'll start role playing with each other a little bit more as we go along. I don't think any of them have ever met each other, so it's kind of awkward, I guess, maybe to role play because role playing is a little hard for some folks. Like they're not really comfortable. If they're not comfortable performing, this is what happens. But so far so good. I'm having fun. They're having fun, and hopefully you're having fun. But until next time, we'll see ya. Peace.